Hi there guys, and welcome back to the Tower Tech. Today we are taking a look at the GTX 1080 and how it performs in both single and SLI mode. The GTX 1080 was launched back in May and was hit with the normal availability issues associated with a major card release. There were big promises made on its performance, with Nvidia's keynote speech suggesting it would outperform a 980 Ti in SLI. Of course, those statements are true, but only in particular circumstances and configurations. So, 5 months on, and a number of driver releases, let's take a look at how it's performing and whether it's worth bothering to put this card in an SLI setup. Before we look at the performance of the card, let's cover off some specs. The Reference or Founders Edition card, as it's been rebranded, comes with a base clock of 1607 MHz and is capable of boosting to 1733 MHz straight out of the box. It has a CUDA core count of 2560 and 8 GB of DDR5X memory, which has substantially higher memory bandwidths than previous versions of Nvidia's cards. Nvidia has released a new high bandwidth bridge to increase performance in SLI and has officially dropped support for 3- and 4-way SLI. In the UK, the card currently sells for £600, depending on the brand and model you buy. It sits at the top end of performance with only the newly released Titan above it. But is it worth your hard-earned cash? And is it really worth putting this card in SLI? Let's take a look at some benchmarks to see. All of the tests that you're going to see were done at a resolution of 3440 by 1440 on a 100Hz ultra-wide monitor with max settings. Overall, the scaling in SLI is much better than previous cards. The results, however, are pretty mixed. You're very dependent on the availability of an SLI profile for the game you're playing. SLI profiles are included in your video card driver and tell the cards how to work together whilst rendering a particular game. If there's one available, then the performance increase is pretty good. You're never going to get double or a 100% increase in the performance, as there's a processing overhead as the two cards need to sync with each other via the SLI bridge. If there's no SLI profile available, or the one that is not very good, then the performance increase can be low. In my tests, I saw pretty good scaling in Rise of the Tomb Raider, which benefited from an average frame increase of 73%. At the top end, it enjoyed a max frame rate increase of a whopping 80%. However, in stark contrast, Star Wars Battlefront and Warhammer Total War only had an average frame rate increase of 13% and 19% respectively. Far Cry Primal fared a little bit better with an average increase of 34%. So, is it worth getting an SLI setup? As an enthusiast, I would say yes, particularly if you plan to stream your gaming on Twitch or YouTube, which puts an additional load on your graphics cards, especially when using hardware rendering in things like the Open Broadcast software capture tool. Also, if you plan to use high refresh monitors and large resolution such as ultra wide and 4K, then you will benefit from those extra frames. Do you need any of those things? No. If you're looking to build a solid gaming rig and plan on using a resolution of 2560 by 1440, then one GTX 1080 is more than enough. Anything below that resolution, then I would suggest you pass entirely on the GTX 1080 and go for its little brother, the GTX 1070. It has a much better bang for buck and will chomp through 1080p gaming easily. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, which you can do by hitting the link here. I'll see you in the next video.